say thank you.
We're dying. I think that's on the 20th.
The 20th?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I feel less bad since Michigan is not. If U of M was playing, I'd be like, we are donezo.
Yeah, I don't think any. Well, I mean, Ohio State is in it, so there might be a lot of hate watchers. Personally, I don't care because I don't think about Ohio State when we're not playing them. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're nothing.
Yeah, they are. They're lower than nothing.
Yeah, there was like a friend of ours who lived in Columbus, and he now lives in LA, but he wore he wore a blue shirt and didn't realize it was a game day, and somebody pelted him with a beverage.
Yeah. Well, that's what Ohio State fans do. That's their behavior, you know. That's their nature. Their nature is to take that game way too serious. I was fighting with OSU fans all day yesterday on Facebook, and all of them completely humorless, boring people. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. Listen. I like rivalries where I can have fun with the opposing fans. Mm-hmm. Like, if my team loses, fucking destroy me. I don't, you know, that's part of the deal, you know? But like when your team wins and you get all boastful and you know, whatever, but then like your team loses and you want to be like a little crybaby about it, I have no respect for you. Like, zero respect for you. You are not, you're not a real person. Like, you expect your team to win every year. Like, listen, I love my teams. I wish they would win against my rivals every year. I know they're not going to. So when they lose, it's like, yeah, I'm disappointed for like a day, and then my life moves on the next day. I don't care anymore. You know? Like, I don't know. It's just so weird to me that the Ohio State fan base just cannot let go of that game a few weeks ago. I mean, granted, it is maybe the most embarrassing loss of like the century. But you're about to win a national championship. Why are you still dwelling on that game? Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
I was worried about going to North Carolina with Michigan plates, and then I was happy that the Avis at DTW gave us Florida plates, and I'm like, yes, we're on the way back, though, we definitely went through Pennsylvania.
Went through Pennsylvania, Buffalo, Niagara Falls, came through Sarnia, came down. I don't know. Well, you know, we can just start the show.
Sorry.
We're back. We're back with another episode of Good Morning, We're Dying. Sam is back.
Yeah, back with new to me wheels. Still an 09, an 09 Prius.
But yeah, I was about to say, like, I remember a few years ago at work, we and I don't want to gloss over the Prius. We'll come back to the Prius. I just have this on my mind right now. I'm gonna forget if I don't get it out. I remember a few years ago, my job, like, I was in the marketing department at my job, and the marketing department always ends up with like tickets to stuff, like concerts, sports, whatever. And they ended up with these like tickets that they usually give to like partners and clients and stuff. And the tickets were basically, it was like a package. Like it was to a Lions game, but a Lions road game. And you would fly to the game on the team plane, stay in the same hotel as the team, and then ride to the game on the team bus.
What?
Yeah, it was like crazy. And then like you would spend the whole time with like Lions front office people would be like with you, like they would take you to like lunch and dinner and stuff like that. And we were at this dinner, and this is like rich people, right? Like this is not just like normal people. This is like rich people. And one of the guys that was at the dinner with us, and we're all Detroiters, obviously, because we all got the package and we all flew there together. And this guy, I had a +1. I had my friend with me. And this guy's like talking to us, and he's trying to pitch us this idea that he has. And it's these like elevated tunnels for pedestrians through the city of Detroit that you would essentially have to pay a toll to walk on.
What?
It's like separate me from the rubbish on the street. You know what I mean? Which is like such a dumb idea, because it's like, okay, what if, this is basically going to be a subway for my feet, or an elevated train for my feet. What if like I want to go to the restaurant right there, but there's like no stop, and I have to walk 3 more blocks to go to the restaurant right there? You know what I mean? Like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. So basically, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it would actually be cool to have something like that starts at Monroe and comes out in Pennsylvania, or like Kentucky or Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to have those kinds of things so we could just avoid Ohio altogether.
I would adore that. And it's not all, it's Columbus specifically that I want to, like, Cleveland is pretty chill. I love Cincinnati. That's,
okay, I give the state of Ohio a lot of grief. But I do want to say, like, there are a lot of, like, I enjoy the other universities of Ohio, Ohio University, Bowling Green, like Akron, I think, is in Ohio too, right? Akron University, Toledo, University of Toledo. Like, all of these places are great. There's just one that sucks, and it taints your whole state, you know? And I'm sorry for that.
I was ambivalent towards it until I found that my dad's wife had an extreme love for Ohio State and was one of those hardcore fans.
Oh, geez. Listen, if you're an Ohio State fan and you're not crazy, I have no problem with you. I have no problem with you. I could hang out with you. We could have fun. We could joke at each other, and it would be a great time, but like these psychos that like literally want to kill you because you like a school. That's insane.
And every year since my dad has died, U of M has beaten Ohio State. It is my dad. She's a terrible person.
I was arguing with a guy who made the point of like, well, we've beaten your school basically my entire life. I'm like, yeah, you've lived half as long as me. And my entire life, we've basically beaten your school except for recent memory. And now we're back on track. So everything is right with the universe. But yeah, sorry. I didn't want to derail from the Prius. The Prius is a big deal. It's been an ongoing theme on the show. We should give the Prius more airtime. I just had that on my mind, and I had to get it out.
No, and that one guy, has he never been to New Center? Like, half of New Center is connected by elevator.
Yeah, I know,
tunnels.
really. Like, like every building has a tunnel connecting it to the next building, basically. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Also, have you heard about the People Mover? Mm-hmm. The illustrious monorail that gets you around a square mile of the city.
Are you going to go to the auto show?
Honestly, I didn't even know it was happening. Because, because they moved it to the summer last year. So I was just assuming, this is just the new thing. It's just in the summer now. And apparently they moved it back. I had no idea. I just saw the news starting to like report on the auto show. And I was like, oh, wait, it's back to the winter?
Yeah, because it was the summer for, I think, 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they thought it would increase business.
But it didn't.
No.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I understand the thinking. Like, people from warm weather climates aren't going to want to come here when it's like sub-zero temperatures. So like, let's move it to the summer, and it'll be nice weather. People can walk around and see the city. But it's like, there's something to experiencing Detroit in the winter. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like we should be afraid of our winter weather.
Yeah.
Because there's like fun stuff to do even in the winter. Like, I don't know.
The city is beautiful too, even in the like with the snow on it.
Yeah, and all the lights and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're deflecting from the Prius, though.
Well, I feel like the auto show should have a deer accident exhibit.
Like a wax museum commemorating the great deer that have fallen.
They have like all those off-roading trails with Jeeps. Like just send like a plastic deer out.
Yeah. Just have like an AI video of deer getting just destroyed by F-150s.
Yeah, I mean they do have all those simulators too. If they could simulate like, oh, this is how it's gonna hit.
Yeah. That would be funny. Or like you know how they do like the beer goggles.
Yeah.
That simulate like when you're drunk, but like do it with like Oculus, and like every now and then a deer just bolts out and you gotta like try to avoid it.
Ooh, if they could have one from the deer's point of view too, with the different
You are the deer. And the controls are either you are completely still or you're trying to run, but there's no going back.
Yeah.
And if you stop, you have to wait like 5 seconds before you can move forward again. Like there's like a meter. There's like a meter that charges, and like as long as you're moving, the meter's fine. But the second you stop, the meter has to recharge. So if you stop in the middle of the road while a car is coming, you're like, oh my god, hurry up, and then like the car hits you.
Yes, it makes it way more intense than Frogger. Like it is.
VR Frogger. That's what I want. Give me VR Frogger. And don't make it realistic. Don't put it in like Unreal Engine 5. I want like 8-bit Atari VR Frogger. I want square blob cars coming at me.
When you get run over in VR or the 8-bit Frogger, should it all go black or should there be a moment of Frogger heaven?
I don't know. Maybe Frogger. No, I think it should just be like the traditional like boink, like whatever that noise was. Remember? It would just be like boink, but like from the perspective of the frog, you know. Like maybe it just slowly fades to black.
How old is Frogger now?
Oh, gotta be old. I mean, that had to have come out like, I don't know. When did Atari come out? Was that like the late 70s when Atari came out, or like early 80s?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know when Atari actually came out. It's got to be the oldest game, one of the oldest games. Like Pong is the oldest game. Frogger's got to be like right behind that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's crazy. I think about that kind of stuff, and it's like, we were born in the wrong era, because like it was so easy to have an idea back then. Like now it's got to be so like involved and complicated, like to come up with something that nobody's like seen before. Like back then there was like nothing yet.
Yeah.
Like everything was a fresh idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, to do stand up in that era too. Whereas like now everything is like, you stole that joke.
And also like everything's hack now because everything's been done. Like back then nothing had been done yet, so nothing was hack. Yeah. You know, like airline,
like a genius.
like airline food bits were like that. You were like a genius. Like, oh my god, this guy's like got his finger on the pulse. that was alt comedy. Talking about airline peanuts. You were the Hedberg of comedy if you were talking about like airline peanuts. You know, you're the Kaufman of comedy.
Pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. Like, did he just call his wife a bitch?
What is he doing to that stool?
Yeah, I mean that I'm envious that I can't just like suck at comedy and be considered great, you know.
One of the pioneers.
Yeah.
Like it's very, it makes me very jealous. Just the easy road. I mean, I don't envy how they had to send in physical tapes.
Oh
too.
yeah, that would have probably ruled me out of a comedy career because I would just never send a physical tape. There's just no way I would send a physical tape.
There's so much room for error for accidentally sending them the wrong thing.
I mean, that still exists. You could still send them the wrong thing now. There's plenty of times where like I have one thing in my clipboard that I copied earlier, and then I go to like the thing that I want to send now, and I just right click it but don't hit copy link. I just right clicked it, and then I click away, and then I hit paste, and it's like the other thing. And I know as I get older I'm going to eventually send porn to a booker. I just know it. Hopefully not my own. Hopefully it'll be someone else.
I used to work at this one PR communications firm for the longest time. And we have to link all of our sources because we basically summarize what the general theme of the news is and then cite the like 5 or 6 places it appeared in. And they sent all porn. I definitely lost their job, but oh boy. Some people said that it was an accident, but that feels like it's pretty deliberate.
So I was I'm not gonna, I don't want to get anybody like in although like the people that I think were involved with it aren't even there anymore, but still I'm not gonna. I was following a certain city's Twitter account a few years ago, and I'm just like scrolling through my feed, on Twitter, just like, whatever, and all of a sudden like some porn came up. And I'm like, what the hell? I like had to double check. I'm like, I thought, because I could have swore I was on like my real account, not my burner account. So I like double checked. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm on my real account. And I went back and I'm like, I looked at like the account I posted. I'm like, oh, that's probably not what they meant to do. So then I DM'd the account and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but like you guys just posted gay porn on your feed. and they like responded back like, oh, we were hacked. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you were. So yeah, they took it down immediately, but I'm just like, yeah, you guys got to be careful.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know that there's some allies on staff.
Yeah, and I don't want to rat them out because like I am positive that is going to happen to me one day. It's just going to, like, porn is going to get posted to one of the show events or show accounts that I'm running right now. Like, it's inevitable, I think.
You made it a twofer. So do you save links or do you copy and paste?
Well, they like retweeted it. So they were like trying to retweet a video that they were watching, and they obviously thought they were on their burner account, but didn't realize that they were on the official like account that they were clearly running, and retweeted the porn on the official account. So yeah, I mean, I'm like super, like I am so like, when I'm jumping between Twitter accounts like that, I'm like very like, okay, am I on the right account? That's the first thing I check like immediately. Am I on the right account?
Yeah, I don't have any burner accounts.
I mean, I don't have any where I'm like Elon Musk, where I'm like trying to like suck myself off in public, All of my burner accounts are like porn accounts, basically. Like, if I'm just trying to watch porn. One of them is an account that I attached to, like, I started an AI thirst trap account where I have like, I draw like AI, like, gay bear guys, and like I post it. But that's like on Instagram, but I have like a Twitter account kind of like tied to it. And
that's a pretty good following, though.
Yeah, the Instagram account does. The Instagram account, I think the last time I checked, was at like 12.1 thousand followers. 12,100 followers. I think that's what it was at last time I checked it. I haven't really been active on it lately, though. I'm kind of like, I started it as a bit, and it just like blew up. So then I was like, well, I guess I got to do this now. But like, I don't know. It's just been getting kind of boring at this point. It's just, you're just basically just punching the same keywords into like an AI image generator, and just like, it's just become like a robotic, repetitive process where like when I was in the beginning, when I was trying to figure it all out, I was like, okay, what keywords do I put in? And like, we're like, now it's like, I have it now. And it's just like, you know, it's not like challenging anymore. So I kind of just haven't been doing it lately. But it's funny because like I haven't been really like posting to it lately, but I still get notifications from it, and it seems like I like every now and then I go through like a new person discovers it and like puts something in their story, and then I get like a new wave of like followers. So like I figured I'd be like down followers by now, but I'm actually like up followers since I kind of stopped being active on it.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we could do that with our own social media. Like step back and then have it.
Yeah, I know. That would be great. You know, maybe I should just start posting my own ass on my Instagram. Although I think I would lose followers.
No, I think 100K. Real fast. And you are you still thinking of leaving most social media platforms?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shut pretty much everything down. Maybe not the show accounts, but like definitely like my personal or like my own comedy ones, I think. But I want to do the show ones in addition. Basically, I mean, the idea was I was going to go to like Blue Sky and TikTok, but now that TikTok's going to like get shut down, it's probably just going to be Blue Sky. But like I want to make Blue Sky accounts for like all the podcasts and shows as well, and kind of just focus on that. Like, I mean, you know, the others will still be there and whatever, but like I don't know if we can ever shut down the Instagram ones, just because like where are we going to put clips otherwise? But like I kind of just want to like be done with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Like I don't want to deal with those anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
completely done with Twitter. I've been done with Twitter for 4 minutes. Like ever since they announced the Elon Musk thing. Like
twice a year. I mean, less so since Elon bought it, but before Elon bought it, twice a year I would get this thing in me. I'm like, I'm gonna actually try on Twitter now. I'm gonna try to build this audience. And I go in and I spend like a day or two tweeting and 0 reactions. And I'm just like, all right, fuck this place.
I feel like it's so hard to be heard.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is, I think the thing about Twitter, the people who actually like build the following, it's not because like what they tweet themselves is so popular, at least not in the beginning. Like when you're starting out, it's not about what you're tweeting as much as it is who you're subtweeting, because then that causes discourse. And if you get into a back and forth with someone who's like just a little bit more influential than you and you own them, then you'll pick up followers from that. And you just have to kind of like do that for a long time. And then eventually you get to a point where you have enough followers where you can just tweet and you'll get the reaction that you're looking for. But the thing is, I don't want to spend my day arguing with like psychos online, you know? So I'm not like, Twitter's not the place for me. Like 20 years ago, maybe like I would sit there and like go back and forth with like, you know, a psychotic person about, you know, some stupid political issue that doesn't matter. But like, I really don't want to do it right now. I really just don't.
Oh. Yeah, Blue Sky seems more positive.
Yeah, but even with Blue Sky, you still do have to kind of take that approach where, like right now at the beginning, it's more so about interacting with people rather than just doing your own. Like, I'm just gonna call them tweets. I don't know what Blue Sky calls them, and I refuse to call them whatever Blue Sky calls them. They're tweets.
Yeah, I did. I went on Instagram and I noticed that like it looked like I unfollowed a ton of people, and I had to go back and refollow a bunch of folks. And I am thinking, oh, if they get this notification and they thought I intentionally unfollowed them,
yeah,
That was anxiety inducing.
I don't know what that is. I've noticed that too. There's like people come up in my people you may know that I'm like, I know I followed this person. Like, what is going on? And I don't know if they just like maybe shut their account down and then reopened it, or maybe like their account got hacked and now this is like a new account that they're starting over with. Like, I don't know, but like it is weird. It's like I know I followed this person. I don't know why I'm not still following this person.
Yeah.
You know, it's very weird, but I don't know. It doesn't matter because I think I'm gonna be leaving. So
I'm still too intertwined with them. I like looking at what people post on there.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's seen as an old people app by the youth.
The only thing I'm gonna miss about my Instagram account is that I've like cultivated, I think, like a very strong lineup of thirst traps on it. And so I'm just not gonna have that anymore. But I'm fine with it. I don't need that.
You can download them and just like release them.
Well, no, it's like actual people. Like it's their actual accounts. Yeah. Yeah, no, not the AI. The AI thirst trap is just what I do as a joke. I'm talking about like real people, like that I follow with my actual account, which is why I had to buy a privacy screen for my phone because I cannot open my Instagram account in public. I mean, I can, but I mean, you know, I am not like most guys who are just gonna like shamelessly look at like ass pictures on the subway or something, you know, like I'm gonna be like, oh shit. Like scroll. Okay, there's a normal person. And then before I scroll on to the next one, I gotta kind of like look around and then just do like half a scroll just to make sure the next one's okay, and then when it's okay, I can do the full scroll. And it's funny because it's always like when I open the app initially, it's always like a big dude with like his ass out, and I'm like, why did that have to be the one that just loads right away? Why couldn't it be the couple that's just on a hike on their vacation? Like, you know?
I love it. That's what the internet is like. Let's render this. Oh. No, I'm sure the youth will develop something. I think out of spite, they will not return to.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody. I think most people from TikTok will not go back to Instagram. I'm pretty sure that won't happen. And the thing is, TikTok will still work after the ban because they can't like delete it from your phone. I mean, they could, but they're not going to. So it's still gonna work. It's just that you're not going to get updates in the future. So eventually it's just going to stop working on your phone.
Do you think they're going to maneuver it so it keeps on? Will they, do you think they'll try to nurse it along? Like ByteDance, like that they'll...
Well, so there's going to be like two options. You'll still be able to access it through like a VPN. So like if you have a VPN, you'll be able to get around it and use it. Or if they sell it to an American, like if an American company or an American individual buys it, then they'll lift the ban. That's the whole thing. They're trying to pressure China into selling it to an American business. And the problem is if that happens, the app is going to absolutely suck. Like it's not going to be good anymore if they do that, because the whole reason they're doing it is because like the TikTok is like the only app where like genuinely like left-wing ideas go viral even remotely, and they don't want that. So neither party wants that, because like the Democrats don't want people talking about like universal health care either. You know? Like it's not just the Republicans that don't want people talking about it. The Democrats also don't want people talking about that. They also don't want people talking about like the Israeli-Palestinian genocide happening right now. And so like we're probably gonna get like buried because I just said those words. But like they don't want people talking about that. Like neither side wants people talking about that. So those things generally pop off on TikTok because it's China like controlling it. They're not going to be like, oh, we're going to block people who are talking about that. But like, if you go on Instagram, nobody, you don't see any of those videos unless you follow those people directly. Then yeah, it shows up in your feed. But if you go into your discovery feed, you're not going to see people like criticizing Israel. You know? Like, you're not going to see people talking about like Luigi Mangione in a positive light. Like, it's only going to be people like, oh, it's disgusting that we're making fun of someone with a family who was murdered, cold or dead in the street. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, Hitler had a family too.
yeah. And they would have used TikTok or Instagram, I mean. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only reason they want to like ban TikTok is because they can't control that. Like, the youth actually understand like that these very like simple socialist ideas are like good. You know?
Yeah, I could see young people using, like, if we taught ourselves how to code with MySpace, they can. I can see young people figuring out VPNs real fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. They'll be able to. I mean, VPNs are like so easy to install. It depending on what level you need it on. Like, I mean, obviously we live in America, so we're not in a country that needs VPNs to access certain things. Like, we can access most things, you know, but like, so I don't know exactly how it works, if it's just something that you can just install on your phone and run, or if it's like something you have to kind of like hit at the like access point of where your phone actually connects to the internet. But if it's something that you just put on your phone, it's super easy. You just download an app and turn it on, you know. Like, if it's something that you have to actually put like on your modem or something, then it's a little bit more complicated, but it's still not that difficult, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just means that you won't be able to access stuff outside of your house, or if where you go they don't also have a VPN, you won't be able to access stuff.
I have a VPN. I pay for it, and I just don't use it. And
I do too. I mean, I have a VPN. I do use it though. I do. I have it on pretty much all the time. I mean, it's not because like I'm particularly worried about my data getting out there. My data's out there, you know. Like, I think at this point in time, if you're worried about them getting your info, it's like they have your info.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like they might get my info. Like, they have your info.
Yeah. I like the whole thing about saying that like this other country has your data. I don't trust any company in the US to already not have sold our data.
Exactly.
To, like,
how did they get my data? It wasn't just TikTok. You know, like, they got my data because you sold it to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's all stupid. It's all politics. That's really all any of it is. It's none of it is concern for the citizens. Like, nobody cares about us.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate corporations.
The only time they care about us is when they need our vote. That's the only time they care about us. And then even then, they don't give us what we want to vote for them. They lie to us to vote for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what side of the aisle it is. So before like any wild right wingers getting here, like, yeah, brother, you tell them. It's like, no, your side is the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what do you think about Mike Duggan running as an independent for governor?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's like, I think it's his way of being able to like pivot more to the right without making it look like he's doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, he can now say, well, I'm still a liberal on the left, but I feel like the left has just gone too far. You know, I feel like it's like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if he did it so that he could break away from the Democratic Party in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. I can't help but feel it's so that he can break away from the Democratic Party to align closer with the Republicans without identifying as a Republican.
Yeah. I see that as because so many more people voted for Trump this past time. I think he feels that.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's all stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the direction that both the country and the state of Michigan take in the next couple years.
Yep.
I had frustration with our credit union this past week because I was trying to deposit the check I got from crashing my car. And it wasn't a lot of, it was $4,000. There was like more than enough money.
That's good. I mean,
it's not it's not like it's like just a couple hundred, but there's more than enough money in our joint account to cover it. And I take it to the credit union and I'm dressed terribly. Unless I'm going into the office, I am dressed terribly. I had my old coat still that had all the tears and the tufts of filling coming out. And they like look at the check and they're like, it's a lot of money. And I was like, yeah, I hit a car, totaled the car. That's what, and they're like, it's an expensive deer.
Yes, it's a living thing.
Yeah.
Life is expensive.
And then they gave me the runaround with about how much they would be able to give me.
Also, my insurance doesn't cover the deer. It covers my car.
Yeah. And the insurance office that writes the checks was like right around the corner. That's why I was like, oh, it's the closest branch. Yeah. And they gave me such a hassle and still insisted on there being a 3-day hold. And then I asked for checks to like when we bought the car to be able to write it. And I didn't look at them until I got in the car. And they only put my husband's name on them, not mine. So he had to be present no matter what. Yeah. And I was pissed about it. And I like wrote the credit union and I'm like, I'm sorry, I left the kitchen to even dare to come into the credit union. The fact that I have to have his permission and all that.
Yeah. Well, he's the man, so.
And that's what they told me so the district manager called me and she's like, we know our system's flawed. If it's a joint account, it automatically makes the man the primary. And she's like, we're switching companies, so it should be cleared up soon. And then she's like, oh, it's standard for us to hold checks, 5 business days. And I said, no, it's not. And she's like, what? And I said that your availability of funds disclosures are printed online. And she's like, let me take a look at that. And then I could hear her typing and she's like, I see what you're saying. I'll have a talk with them about that. And I'm like,
No, she's not.
Yeah.
I worked at a bank for like 2 years, and they'll just tell you whatever they need to tell you to get you the fuck out of their face.
Yeah.
they have no idea what is actually the manager that I had right before they fired me because my till kept going out of balance. He was the only one that actually kind of knew what was going on, and he knew their policies so well that he could find a policy to broom you for almost anything. The manager I had before that, she was just completely talking out of her ass. She would just tell you whatever she needed to tell you to get you out of her cubicle.
Like I knew that they thought I was doing something suspicious, and they're like, well, we just have a system that checks, and that check, the account that it was drawn on had been flagged for having a lot of fraud. And I'm like, I worked at a bank that had significantly more resources than your little credit union, and they did not have that technology. And she, so I ultimately, like, I felt bad because I was like, oh, they're having like even a higher manager call us. Yeah. This is a win compared to a big bank that would be like, whatever, I said I was going to switch our bank accounts. But she ended the conversation. So she's like, so are you still going to switch like credit unions? And I was like, you talk about it with my husband still. She's like, how about you give him my number and he can call me directly and we can talk about it. And I'm like, oh, you missed the point. You were so close.
Yeah.
I don't get how a financial institution with so many women in leadership roles can still.
Well, because they're still conservative, so they're still, it's not like cool people working at banks. Like these people aren't leaving their cubicle at 5 o'clock and going to a punk show. These people are going home to like eat boiled chicken, you know? Boiled chicken and green beans. Like that's what they eat every day for dinner.
Like it was all such BS. We still haven't found it where we want to bank yet. But
yeah, I mean they all suck. I had a moment where I was like trying to like look into banks and stuff and try to find one like credit union bank or whatever that wasn't like completely corrupt and terrible, and it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. So then I switched to, okay, well, where is it going to be the most easy for me to get what I need? And so I do want to switch my bank because I think my bank is kind of like outdated. But that is not a decision that I am going to be making on my own, and 50% of that decision wants to stay, so. And I get it. I understand. It's a pain to do those kinds of things, but
yeah,
it would be so much easier to do things if we were at a different bank.
Yeah, and that's Santiago still wants to go with a smaller institution, and I get the want to do that, especially since so many credit unions have combined enough where it makes them more accessible in the area.
Yeah.
But we travel so much for comedy that it would be nice to have.
I think like the good combination for that would be like money that you need accessible like immediately. You probably want that in like a big institution, but then like things that are like more long term, you probably want that in like a smaller institution. Like loans, savings, things like that, you probably want that in a credit union. But like checking, you maybe want that in your bank.
Yeah.
And I think it's more possible these days because of things like Zelle and Venmo and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a lot easier to deposit something in a credit union, Zelle or Venmo it out, and then Zelle and Venmo it into the checking or something, you know?
Yeah, I need to get on that. I was so used to my credit union back home, and that's who I do most of my banking with still is them. And it's only a pain because the closest branch is 2 hours away. And I have one kind of localish bank, that the one that I used to work for. And it makes it a little bit better, but they are such a low risk institution that it's a hassle.
Yeah.
And then our joint account, which is a credit union locally. But the credit union in my hometown, I come from such a rural community. I mean, and you performed there before, and you've seen the people that live there, and it's a very humble area.
They were good people.
Yeah, they're good people. I love it. I love it so much.
It was great. It was a great show.
But they don't judge me. They never judge me based on my appearance. Like I could go in there looking terrible, and they're like,
she's one of us.
And so I wasn't. It's so weird to me now when I go into financial institutions and they make that snap judgment.
Yeah, like a good bank is a bank that like when you walk in, they're like, who is this homeless person? But they don't make you feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, like it's in their head, but they're not communicating that they think that they should call the police, you know?
Yeah. When my hometown credit union's website went down, they did everything via Facebook Messenger. Sure, it's not the safest, but they are.
Cause like when my dad passed away and, you know, I had to go deal with his banking and stuff. He set everything up in a way that he didn't have to do a will where like the money would just come to me. So like I had to go to his bank and like let them know that he passed away, and like I had to get him off the accounts and whatever. And so like I used a lot of that money to like, you know, remodel our house. And so I kept going in and getting like taking out like big chunks of money. And at first I could I mean, they were like good about it. Like they didn't verbally make me feel weird, but I knew that they were like, because I would go in there after like working on something in the house, just all like gross, and I'd be in there, give me $10,000, like, you know? And they didn't know who I was. So I know like the first 2 times maybe they were like looking at me like, who is this homeless person? But then like they saw that I kept doing it, you know, and so I think by the end of the project they were just like, all right, this is just what he does.
My dad had a bank account, and he had so many separate accounts from his wife because he didn't trust her. She did not expect him to live as long as he did, and they were close to getting a divorce like by the time of his death. And so he kept a lot of his money separate from her and didn't tell her about it. And he put me as the beneficiary of these accounts, and I know for sure one of them, but I never went to the bank to be like, hey, and I don't know if I should, if it's like, if it would be weird to them or sketch them out.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember when my dad passed away, he was living with my grandparents, and I went over there to like kind of go through his stuff. And he had this corner that was just like, kind of just stuff, It was just like, I don't want to deal with this, put it in the corner. It was like kind of like one of those corners. And so I'm like kind of just not paying attention to it. I'm like, yeah, whatever, So I like went through everything else and, got all the valuable stuff. And I was kind of just like, yeah, just do whatever you want with that corner. But then like, I don't know, something told me like I was like getting ready to like leave, and someone was like, no, you need to go look through that corner. I went through that corner, and there was so much cash stashed in that corner. I mean, like a lot of cash. So I was like, thank God I looked at that corner.
Oh, yeah. Because my dad, I still have a little portion of his ashes because he wants it sent into space, and it costs so much money to do that. And I want to honor his wishes at minimum, if you don't want it coming back into orbit, or coming back down to Earth, like it's like 10 grand.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But if I had that, like some of it, it wasn't like a lot that was in there, but it would help pay to like shoot him up.
Yeah.
But I
don't know. I think about that, and I'm just like, I want to like honor your wishes, but like you're not here anymore, and that's a lot of fucking money.
So he had 4 places, and my grandma, as soon as she heard that, my maternal grandma, we don't talk with my dad's mom, but she's like, no, she's like, you got 4 out of 5. That is,
I think that's a pretty good percentage. I do. I think that's a pretty good percentage.
But his goal was that aliens would find him and resurrect him. So I want to honor that for him, because he wanted to be buried, and then he just wanted that done to his fingers. Each finger get cremated and spread into a different place, and I couldn't afford to do all of that.
So your dad wants to be like part of like a Prometheus type like situation, where like some big like large white, just stark white, like humanoid alien figure, just like mixes him with some like black goo, and your dad turns into a xenomorph.
Oh, the cost so we ended up having all of them cremated, but the cost to do everything, because I was trying to price it out. I felt I had so much guilt. The cost to do everything was getting between like 30 and 40 grand. And I only had, because he originally was talking finally to me about what he wanted for his funeral, like 2 weeks before he passed away. Previously, he just wanted to avoid it. And he's like, you want me to die? Anytime I would bring it up. But he had no life insurance policy. So one of the accounts that he made me beneficiary of, he wanted me to withdraw money from each day. So I would withdraw like the max amount, which like $300-$400 depending on ATM. And I had his power of attorney. It's not like I'm like, ha. But I did that, and I was able to get like $4,000.
Yeah.
And all of that went towards the funeral.
So one of the times I went and did a withdrawal, I did it. So I was on my way to a gig. I think it was that. I think I was on my way to like to Let's Fest in Indianapolis, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave early-ish. I'm gonna stop at his bank, get the money. There's a branch of my bank on the way. I'm gonna stop there, drop the money into my account, and I'm gonna continue on. So I get the money. I go to my branch, and I walk in, and it's just a lobby. There's like no teller windows. There's like no nothing. It's just a lobby. I'm like, what is going on? And then finally someone just like appears from like a corner, and they're like, oh, can we help you? I'm like, yeah, I just want to deposit this cash. And they're like, oh, well, you can do that right at the ATM over here. And I'm like, I'm not putting this much cash in an ATM.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, you can break it up into separate deposits. I'm like, I am not putting this cash in an ATM. I'm like, this needs to go into a human's hand,
Yeah.
and they need to count it, and they need to put it into my account. So I left, and I found another one. I went over there and I deposited it.
That's so dumb. Like you
Yeah.
would think that they would want to, because that counts. Like every, like I mean, you know the
Yeah.
drill.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I would want my branch to get that deposit.
Yeah, and I cannot tell you how many times people's deposits were screwed up because they tried to do it through the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a daily thing, sometimes twice daily thing. Someone was like, "Oh, I put $5,000 through and like 3 transactions in the ATM, and it says I only have $2,000." It's like, no, I'm not going to put that much money into a machine, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I found another branch and went over there and deposited the money and then continued on to the festival. The one that, by the way, we were supposed to do the Comedy House. Remember Let's Fest?
Yeah. Oh, how was it?
It was fun. It was a fun experience. We what was it, like 8 of us or 6? No, it was 2, 4, 6. 6 of us got an Airbnb and did like real world comedy.
Yeah. My anxiety was so high. I was like messaging Alex, like having a slight breakdown until it led to a full breakdown. And Alex got to see the decline throughout the week. Yeah, because you were the only one that I was like messaging throughout like the whole I'm comfy and stuff. And even when I was down there the week before and they were like, where's the house at? And I told them the Indianapolis based comics, and they're like,
the neighborhood was a little rough. It wasn't like the roughest neighborhood, but it wasn't like, there wasn't a Starbucks anywhere near us, but the house itself was nice.
Yeah, I visited you guys and it looked great on the inside.
Yeah, and there were 2 rooms. There was 1 room with 2 beds, and then there were 2 rooms with king-sized beds, and then there was 1 room with just like a regular queen-size bed. And so I played the old man card and got the queen-sized room, that room. And then Andrew, who was on the show last week, and other friend of the show, Louis Michael, they got into the room with the 2 twin beds. And then also friends of the show, Jackie Marpa and Abby Lemke, they shared the king-size bed in the front like suite, which was crazy. That suite was insane. There was like a whole ass bathroom in there. It wasn't like a bedroom bathroom. It was like a whole ass bathroom with like a hot tub and like everything. It was like crazy. So like they got that room, and then Ella got the upstairs kind of suite with the other king size bed to herself because she's the one that organized the whole thing. Ella Horwood, also a friend of the show.
Yeah, I have such bad luck with vehicles. I did not want to attempt it parking on the street.
Oh yeah. The parking actually was kind of decent because there was a elementary school across the street, and the exit to the lot was like right there at the house. So you could just get into the lot, park your car, and get into the house. Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Heck yeah. I stayed in a hotel. It was pretty good. Free breakfast, per usual.
I've had bad luck with hotels in Indianapolis. Pretty much every time I've tried to get a hotel in Indianapolis, it's ended up being a murder hotel.
What?
Yeah.
It was Middle Ground that I had gotten a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy at the desk was like, "You're very pretty." And I said, "Thanks." And he said, "I put your room next to mine." And it was unnerving.
Yeah.
It was unnerving because who would hear me scream? It's his room next door.
Well, he's obviously got it soundproofed.
And it was a chain hotel, so I definitely didn't stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will never stay there again.
I think. No. This was after Middle Ground. I went down and I was doing a weekend at the Brick Room, R.I.P. Although I hear it's coming back.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain on that, but we'll leave it at R.I.P. for now. I was doing a weekend there, and I got a room at a Red Roof Inn that was like less than a mile away from a Top Golf. So I'm like, oh, that's got to be safe, right? I mean, there's like a Top Golf right there. There's like a Top Golf, a Buffalo Wild. There's like all kinds of stuff over there. So I go there, I check in, I go to the show. I was doing Friday and Saturday. So I do the show Friday, I come home, and I pull into like, I mean, Red Roof Inn. You like pull in and there's like the rows of rooms on both sides, like the buildings on both sides. And I pull in, I park, and I see at least 3 different rooms with very large men just standing outside. Like not moving, not talking, just standing there. And I'm just like, in the room behind them, the lights are on. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, this is, sex work happening right now. Which I'm like, okay, that's cool. But like, I kind of feel like this is not the most above board sex work right now happening. So concerns me a little bit. Yeah. And just people generally just lingering around the whole time. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna sleep here and I just won't be here. And then the other time, like the most recent time I went to Indianapolis and got a hotel, where did I stay? I stayed at like oh shit, I can't remember what it was. It was like, what was the chain with like America in the name? What,
America's Best.
Yes. It was.
They're terrible.
Yeah,
They're the worst.
Yeah.
I never stay in them.
Yeah, I stayed at one of those, and I made a post about not staying there specifically, but the neighborhood. Like I made a post about like the neighborhood that I was in, and David Brooks, also a friend of the show, first comment is like, "No, you should have told me you were coming."
Yeah, after my 3rd time at an America's Best, I was like, never again.
That was my first time at an America's Best. So yeah, I every time that I've stayed at a hotel in Indianapolis, it's been an experience.
Yeah, Noblesville I stayed in, there was Hampton Inn, and that was super nice. Like they had just built it, and I was there with Elena Gonzalez, friend of the show, and it was stunning.
Yeah, and I mean, it was my own fault because I was like, I had a price range that I was like, I'm only gonna pay this much, and it was low. It was a low price range. I'll admit that. So yeah, when you work in the price range that I was working in, you just gotta expect that there's gonna be some weird shit happening.
Yeah, I mostly go with choice hotels, and a lot of times that's usually not people's first choice. So they would pick for themselves.
Well, they didn't say what choice. They just said choice. Choice hotels. They are a choice. Then which one, we don't know.
Yeah, and I normally don't allow myself to stay in the top tier, but I'm moving higher. I used to just stay at the Econo lodges, but now I am up to the quality comfort inn level. But there was a really good deal on the Hampton Inn. So I was like, why not splurge on the extra $5 and stay in a Hilton brand hotel?
Yeah.
And Indianapolis has really cool things happening all the time. So a lot of the times the hotels are so expensive in the area.
Yeah. Boulder was like that. Boulder is just like crazy with the hotel prices. Mm-hmm. And I hear it's just like that there. It's not about like events or anything. It's just expensive to stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got lucky growing up that my dad would use my mom's illness a lot to get because she had the surgeries in Denver.
Yeah.
And so, every 4 to 6 weeks, we would either get like a pity hotel room or they would make up so many email addresses because they would use Choice Hotels all the time. And Choice Hotels used to have that thing, stay 2 nights, get the third free. And that's why I have such affinity for Choice Hotels still.
Your parents were doing with hotels what most people do with like streaming services. Just like taking the trial, canceling, make a new email, start the trial again. Just treating Choice Hotels like Netflix. Yeah, I don't know. Hotel, it's tough because if I was still in my 20s, it would be different. I'd be like, whatever, I'll just crash on somebody's couch.
Yeah.
But like in my 40s, I'm like, I need my space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I need my space. But it gets so expensive because like if you try to get a room under $100, you are rolling the dice, and most of the time it's snake eyes.
Yeah.
But like if you're over $100, you can at least generally feel good that it's gonna be like okay. Mm-hmm. Like it's gonna be fine, you know. If you want like the really good rooms, you're gonna have to go into like 120, 140 a night area. But like I can't drop $140 every time I'm out of town, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did find there's this, because I had to stay like right at the Michigan border when I had the stuff going on in Chicago, and I stayed at this one Quality Inn, $40 a night. And it was not bad. It was actually very good. I had the apprehension of what am I gonna.
Well, I think also like location does also account for some of the stuff, right? Because like if you're not near a major city, $40 a night, that might actually be okay. Mm-hmm. It could also be very bad. But it's like a 50-50 shot in that case. But if you're in any sort of like major city and you're only dropping $40 a night, someone will be murdered that night. Whether it's you or someone else, we don't know, but life will be taken that night in that hotel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think when I was in Noblesville, I spent $80 a night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was really good. I think
Yeah.
they must have been a dry spell event-wise for it to have gotten that low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't do what I did in my 20s anymore.
No,
and I feel like it affects me on stage too.
Yeah.
Like if I don't get a good night's sleep, then I'm...
If where I'm going has a guest bedroom, then I can deal with that. Mm-hmm. But like if I'm just gonna sleep on like a Goodwill couch, I can't. I'm sorry. I gotta get a hotel. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm sleeping on the floor or something, you know, maybe I can deal with an air mattress. But if I'm just sleeping on the floor, like I just can't. I just can't.
Mm-hmm. Well, my anxiety flares because I always think I'm in people's way or I think I'm annoying people. And so I do need that separate like moment or that separate space to feel like I can to not feel like I'm in anyone's way. So even staying with people is super hard for me, and it stresses me out so much. I'm working with my therapist this year too. I am proud of myself. I did stay with John Holmes and Sarah from Cincinnati, friends of the show, and that was last year, and that was the first time in a long time I had tried staying in, and I didn't have anxiety. They're so sweet.
I don't know, if I get the invitation, I don't feel bad about it, but also going into it, I'm like trying to stay out of your way. You know, like I'm not trying to just like be spread out all over your house or apartment or something. But even with that, that's just like physically uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like to just like constantly be like trying to just not be in the way. Yeah. It's like hard, you know, and I have to like go perform. Like, it's just way easier to be in a hotel room where I can just like throw my shit all over the place and not have to worry about it, you know?
Yeah. Like for the Indianapolis Airbnb, like I was so terrified that, cause I knew that the likelihood of us sharing rooms with somebody was like super high with how many folks there were. And I was like, oh, I am going to annoy somebody. Somebody's going to walk away from that weekend being like, I cannot stand Sam Rager. So if I can blend in with a wall at a Night's Inn, I will.
Yeah. That's funny. All right. Well, I don't know. We are, looks like we're like at an hour.
Yeah. What do you have coming up that you're excited for?
I'd have to look at my phone. You can go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So on the 17th, I'm doing Connor Mead and Friends. I'm so stoked that she's back from New York for a little bit, and I get to see her. And then on the 20th, I am at Max and Crunchies. Both are in Lansing. Well, Max is in Lansing, Crunchies in East Lansing. And then on the 25th, I am recording my album, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the Independent. And then the 27th, I am at Blind Pig hosting again.
Nice. This Thursday, which will be the next day after this comes out, on January 16th, I'll be at the Hive North in Sheboygan, Michigan. Actually kind of pumped about that show. Seems like a pretty cool room. It is a meadery that infuses weed into their mead. Weed into their mead, which don't know if I'll be partaking in that.
It seems intense in a mellow way.
Yeah, well, I definitely will not be taking it before I go on stage, because I will not be able to perform comedy if I do that. And then I think John Mahar is coming with me, and I think he's going to want to come home right after. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see what happens. Either way, I think the show is going to be great because I will be sober when I'm on stage. Don't know what's going to happen after. But it will be a great show. It'll be a lot of fun. And then on the 23rd, I'll be at Jake's Saloon in Toledo, Ohio. 24th, I will be doing the Heavy Flow comedy show at the Independent Comedy Club. And then the next night on the 25th, I will be opening for Sam Rager on her special taping at the Independent Comedy Club. So yeah, it's gonna be a couple fun dates there. Actually, I only have one more date in January. Might as well plug that one too. January 28th, Chevy's Place in Toledo, Ohio. The Jake's Saloon and Chevy's Place are both David Crumbly productions, and he does great shows, so I'm excited about those. And that's it. That's all I got for the rest of January. I got more stuff in February, but don't need to start plugging that yet.
Yeah, well, thank you all, and subscribe. And
smash that subscribe button. But also follow us on Instagram and TikTok while it lasts. If you are, for some reason, old like us and still on Facebook, follow us there too. Although Facebook, I can say with confidence, is probably going to go away soon. Like for us. I don't know. I mean, it'll still exist beyond us, but I'm like pretty close to getting rid of that one. At the very least. I'm like wavering on Instagram. I really don't like it. I would like to also get rid of it, but I understand with TikTok going away, might still need that one. Facebook, though, I am very confident that one's going away. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Mm-hmm. The man tells him to smile. You need to say thank you.